And across Israel today, ceremonies mark 1 year of anguish. 1 year since Israeli hostages were separated from their families. 1 year of Palestinians in Gaza living in a war zone, with more than 40,000 now dead, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. 1 year ago, Hamas militants launched a coordinated attack inside Israel at the Nova Music Festival, killing 1,200 people and kidnapping over 200 Israeli citizens. Today, both survivors and mourners returned to the site of that attack, honoring victims with a moment of silence after listening to that final song played at the music festival before terror descended on festival grounds. 1 year later, the suffering continues, and Israel is expanding its retaliation. Israel Defense Forces are now battling Hezbollah militants to the north in Lebanon and vowing retaliation against Iranian missile strikes. Right now, over 90 hostages remain in captivity, including 4 Americans, and hopes for a ceasefire seem to be drastically diminishing this morning. President Biden has released a statement on this anniversary saying, quote, "The October 7th attack brought to the surface painful memories left by millennia of hatred and violence against the Jewish people. That is why soon after the attack, I became the first American president to visit Israel in a time of war. I made clear then to the people of Israel, you are not alone." 1 year later, Vice President Harris and I remain fully committed to the safety of the Jewish people, the security of Israel, and its right to exist. President Biden also condemned the, quote, "vicious surge in anti-Semitism in America and around the world." He also said once again, he's calling for a ceasefire deal.
Ahead of today's events, pro-Palestinian demonstrators marched through Seattle this weekend calling for a ceasefire. They carried red signs and photos honoring some of the estimated 43,000 Palestinians killed, most of them in Gaza. The signs include a photo of Aysenur Egi. She's a recent UW grad who was shot and killed by Israeli forces near a demonstration in the West Bank last month.
My Palestinian brothers and sisters have been murdered since I was born. I was born Palestinian. I have dealt with this my entire life.
Demonstrators told us they are also calling on the U.S. to enact an arms embargo on Israel.
That horrific attack 1 year ago sent shockwaves around the world, including here in Western Washington.
Seattle Rabbi Daniel Weiner goes on the record with Joyce Taylor to reflect on the past year.
In the face of this having been a year-long war, which is very, very unusual for Israel, their wars in the past have been a few days, if not a few weeks. The fact that we're still slogging through the conflict in Gaza, but now a re-energized conflict on the north, it's heartbreaking.
Why do you think it has lasted so long, unlike any previous war?
I think primarily Israel is fighting a war in scope and at a level that no other country has had to fight in this way. To fight an enemy that designs their strategy to ramp up the death and destruction of their own people, to hide in tunnels, to use their citizenry as human shields, specifically in a way that was designed to maximize their death and destruction. Tragedies happen and innocent people die, but more often than not, most of the time, that is an unavoidable tragedy. It's not something that is part of the war strategy, and that's clearly what's going on.
And you can see Joyce's full conversation with Rabbi Daniel Weiner tonight on King 5 News at 5 and an extended version on King 5 Plus.